AMD was the first to bring us an honest, actual budget-friendly GPU this generation. The difficult question is, does it perform the way you expect, and does that performance earn its way into your wallet? Now, it's kind of a long-standing thought to not go for a budget-friendly card because you might be chasing performance and have to keep paying to upgrade way too often. The counterpoint to all that is budget-friendly GPUs are performing at a much higher level than they ever have before. So if you're thinking about making the 7600 your new GPU, you're definitely going to want to see what's coming up.
This video is brought to you by SCD Key. Are you tired of overpaying for Windows? Well, SCD Key has got you covered for a Windows 10 Pro OEM key for a crazy low price. All you do is click on the link in the description below. Make your selection and click buy now. On top of that, you can get an additional 25% off using my discount code BPC25 for a limited time. The best part is you can fast and secure checkout using PayPal. Type in activation settings, click on change product key, paste in your brand new key, click next, then activate. Now you're all set. You can also get a great deal on Microsoft Office with the link in the description below using my offer code.
In this video, we're going to answer three big questions. How does the RX 7600 perform against my average gamer's test bench at 1080, 1440p, and yes, 4K? I did that. When you should and shouldn't consider buying the 7600, and just in general, is it worth the money? I'll put the specs on the screen here so you don't have to refer back to one of my previous videos. Most RX 7600s range from $269 nice to $300 US, which in my opinion is still a bit too much for a budget-friendly or entry-level card. This specific model goes for about $289. That's mostly because, one, it's white. You tend to pay more for the white cards and cases and things of that nature, and it has RGB and it's a larger cooler than your standard options. Now, whether the extra money is worth it or not is strictly up to you. I want to note to you guys real quick, I'm going to do some follow-up videos of the RX 7600 versus its closest competition and some very unsuspecting rivals. So consider subscribing so you don't miss out on those, or depending on when you watch this, just go and watch those right after. I'll put the specs for my average gamer's test bench on the screen here so that we understand what's going on there. And if you want a little bit of a deeper dive, check out the links in the description below to see more in-depth conversation of why I built it the way I did. The short answer is it's a middle-of-the-road system, hence average gamer's test bench, that's designed to give you realistic results without doing anything that would cripple something unfairly. So let's dive into the benchmarks. We all know Cyberpunk is a challenge to run at higher settings, and I think the 7600 holds its own very well. In fact, since we have some extra room above 60 FPS, you could probably tick the settings up a little bit further and stay above water. Just stay away from higher resolutions. Watch Dogs Legion. This was one of my favorite games over the past few years, and once you get to meat and potatoes, it's a really awesome game, and it's also a very good-looking game. You can easily raise this close to max settings and keep this game running smooth close to 60 FPS. Borderlands 3. Now, with minimal spoilers, Borderlands 3 provided huge gains over its previous generation, so it's clear that this can handle this game at 1080 and 1440p. Forza Horizon 5 and Horizon Zero Dawn, maybe it's a Horizon thing, both followed suit with impressive gains in performance overall for what's a budget to your GPU and can easily play ball at 1440p. If you like high FPS, F1 2022 cracks a 200 FPS marker with decent ease at 1080p, but still holds above the 144 FPS marker with 1440p. If you're an esports fan and need that really high FPS, Rainbow Six Siege is a good sign. It shows it can handle those high FPS counts, and also obviously easily bypass less demanding titles. Now that you've seen the benchmarks, we're going to dive into those things that you really need to know. We'll get the easy one out of the way first. How does it perform against my average gamer's test bench? 1080p was obviously a breeze. 1440p wasn't too bad. It did start to struggle in certain games, and 4K, which to be expected, it's not even an option in my opinion, unless you're doing some really old or esports titles. This GPU is a good option for somebody who wants a warranty, and spending honestly a penny more is just kind of out of the question or just out of the budget. Or maybe you just want to stick to Team Green and not pay the extra for a 4060, which performs about the same. So is it worth the money? The short answer is yes. It's a fair price with the market currently still kind of in recovery. Yes, a lot of things have come down, and that's where the big problem comes into play. The issue is you have a whole older generation and used market that can be very competitive with price and performance. Speaking of this, if you want to see how this performs against its closest competition, and again, some of those unsuspecting rivals, you're going to have to get subscribed to see those upcoming videos. Until then, if you want a refresh on the RX 6600, its closest sibling, you can check out my video up here. Before that, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.